A story last week in the Wall Street Journal reported that a Chinese billionaire used legal loopholes to have dozens of children through surrogacy in the United States. His name is Shu Bo. In a country facing a sharp decline in birth rates, he is an outlier. He finished only middle school. He started as a game customer service worker. Today, he is 48 years old, worth tens of billions of yuan equals billions of US dollars, and is said to have hundreds of children. One of his intimate partners has claimed that he has over 300. A man like this would normally receive wide media coverage. Yet, Shubo is largely absent from public view. I could only find 4 photos of him, all taken 10 or even 20 years ago. At present, the main source of information about this billionaire is his own blog. On social media, his posts mainly oppose feminism, call for higher birth rates, and use his influence to openly seek partners under the age of 23 to have children with him. This may be his most important goal. Most online discussion focuses only on how many children he has, but Shubo's family background and childhood are just as important. This video is a profile of Shubo. I want to find the answer to what made him keep having children. It begins with his childhood. Shubo grew up in a family without love. He said his father was violent and often beat him with sharp objects, such as needles and awls, until he bled. This shaped Shubo into someone who fought back hard. Few people dared to provoke him. According to Shubo's own descriptions, when he was 8 or 9 years old, he had to make breakfast for his father. When he went out, he was forced to evade bus fares. If he failed to follow these orders, he would be beaten. His mother had mental illness. It was said that it was caused by failed attempts to have more children. This sounds strange, but the same obsession with having children also appears in Shubo himself, and people may choose how much to believe it. Some people also speculate that Shubo keeps having children in order to filter out the mental illness genes he may have inherited from his mother. After his mother developed mental illness, his parents divorced. Shubo was 15 years old that year. It is believed that he then lived with his father, but his father likely did not care much about him. He left school after middle school and lived on the streets. He spent his days in internet cafes, playing games. In 1995, when Shubo was 18, his father cut off all financial support. Shubo lived on 1 cup of instant noodles for 3 days, which cost about 0.6 yuan in total, around 9 US cents. Sometimes he worked with his father. Once, Shubo was badly injured at a construction site and fell into a coma. When he woke up in the hospital, his father told him that if he became disabled, he would not take care of him. Whether this was just anger or his father's true feelings is something we need to judge. Since Shubo's father cut off financial support when Shubo was 18, we can infer that if Shubo had no value, he would be abandoned. In addition, Shubo also mentioned that because his father abandoned his mother, Shubo's grandmother also disliked him. When Shubo stayed at his grandmother's house, he rarely used hot water for bathing. In 2000, at age 23, he worked as a customer service agent at a game company. He wrote long and detailed feedback, dozens of pages, thousands of points. Because of this, he was promoted to game designer. This shows Shubo's obsessive side. Writing feedback usually brings no reward. In 2001, he helped create a game called Fantasy Westward Journey. It became one of the most popular online games in China for many years. His income rose from a few thousand yuan a month to about 1 million US dollars a year. In 2006, he left the company after a conflict with the owner and founded his own game company. It made over 100 million US dollars in annual profit. Shubo entered the top 300 richest people in China. That is his rise from nothing to extreme wealth. Now to the most controversial part, his children. Shubo does not marry. He has many partners. No one knows the exact number. The mothers and children live together in a system similar to ancient emperors. He claims all children were born legally. The Wall Street Journal reported that this involved legal gray areas, since surrogacy is meant to help infertile couples, not to serve as a tool for the rich to produce heirs in large numbers. During a financial dispute, one former partner claimed he has over 300 children and accused him of abusing them. Shubo denied this. He said he has just over 100 children and never used violence. I cannot verify either claim. So let us assume he has more than 100 children. Shubo's views on parenting and his actions are highly controversial. His belief in survival of the fittest is evident in the way he treats his children. He tests them every month. Those who fail the test do not receive any food, while those who pass are rewarded with a more lavish meal. He also believes that his wealth should not be shared equally among his children. Only the successful ones, those who outperform the others, will inherit his fortune. The others will be given only basic support, enough to live on, but no more. His philosophy is similar to social Darwinism, which advocates that society should be ruled by the strongest. Shubo has even stated that if there were a button to eliminate half of the world's poor, he would press it without hesitation. His belief in reproduction is equally extreme. Shubo says that children are not something to be nurtured, but rather selected. He has multiple children in hopes that some will turn out to be exceptional. However, he also acknowledges that not all of his children will turn out to be extraordinary, and he will not provide assistance to those who do not meet his expectations. These views are very similar to those of his father. Despite the fact that they are father and son, their relationship is not based on love or affection. Both lack a sense of security, and they are quick to abandon each other if they feel their interests are threatened. Just as Shubo's father abandoned his mentally ill mother, Shubo too shows no concern for emotional bonds. Now let's examine the allegations of abuse. One of Shubo's long-term female partners, the mother of 13 of his children, has accused him of being a violent person. She claimed that Shubo would fly into fits of rage for no apparent reason, and that even the family's maid was afraid of him. She also presented photographs of her children with injuries. At this point, no court has ruled on these allegations, and I am not a judge, so I cannot confirm whether Shubo has engaged in domestic violence. However, there are a few details that may give us clues. When Shubo asked his children how many children they plan to have in the future, one of them answered 20, while another said 10.
好，你打算了，长大了打算生多少个孩子
15个或20个吧。
？15个或20个。你打算生几个女儿？
生5个女儿
5个女儿。
10个儿子。
哦。长大了以后生多少个孩子啊
100个。
100个。生多少个女儿，多少个儿子呢
10个女儿，和90个儿子。
90个儿子。
我要是9个孩子，我也要30个孩子。
These children appeared to be no older than 5 or 6 years old, and both physically and mentally immature. It's clear that these ideas were instilled by Shubo himself. This suggests that Shubo follows a strict traditional method of parenting, forcing his children to adopt his own ideals. To enforce these views, he may very well use force or coercion. However, I have no direct evidence to support this claim. Because Shubo's blog often shares videos of his children being happy and celebrating his birthday, the testimonies from both sides are inconsistent, making it hard to judge. Another suspicious detail is the apparent gender imbalance in his children. Shubo's sons far outnumber his daughters, which may indicate his personal preferences or beliefs about gender roles. One of Shubo's most extreme views is his anti-feminism. He believes that women's value lies in reproduction and that they do not need to pursue education or develop other skills. He also believes that women should marry at a young age, and he has openly called for lifelong partners between the ages of 18 and 23, with only basic personality traits as the main criteria. Though Shubo claims he is seeking a lifelong partner, in reality, he appears to be someone who is deeply insecure. His relationships with women are far from typical, and he downplays their roles and importance in order to ensure his own rules remain unchallenged. In his actions, Shubo shows a clear obsession with control. His desire to have many children stems from his belief in natural selection. He aims to increase the number of his offspring, hoping that one will rise to the occasion and become someone extraordinary, just as he once wrote thousands of suggestions to improve a game in his early career.